Imagine trusting someone with your whole life, believing they have your absolute best interests at heart, only to find out they were packing their bags to leave you to face the music entirely alone. That is exactly the devastating reality hitting our screens on the cobbles this week. The tension is reaching an absolute boiling point as a shocking betrayal unfolds, leaving one young life completely shattered and a supposedly trusted coach making a desperate dash for the French border. Things are unraveling fast, and the authorities are finally closing in on some of the darkest secrets hidden in plain sight. But before we dive deep into this jaw-dropping drama and uncover exactly what happens next, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to CoronationST update, and turn on those notifications. You absolutely do not want to miss a single drop of tea we pour on this channel. Now, let us get straight into the chaos. Megan Walsh thought she was outsmarting everyone. She genuinely believed she could just slip away to France, leaving all the wreckage and broken lives behind her like it meant nothing. But the authorities had entirely different plans. They intercepted her right before she could make her grand escape, and now, the reality she has been dodging is hitting her head-on. She is currently facing intense questioning by the authorities, and the accusations surfaced are incredibly heavy. We are talking about severe boundary crossing and pressuring a much younger person into inappropriate intimacy. It is the ultimate breach of trust from a person in a position of power. In the sterile interrogation room, the arrogant smirk she wore while packing her bags has completely vanished. The detectives are not holding back, dropping folders of evidence onto the table and laying out the undeniable timeline of her actions. She is trapped, and she knows it. The walls are closing in, and she cannot manipulate her way out of this serious legal trouble. Then there is Will Driscoll. Poor Will has been completely manipulated, caught in a deeply toxic web crafted by someone who was supposed to be a mentor and a protector. When Will finally learns the harsh truth that Megan was planning to just abandon him, to leave the country without a single backward glance while he dealt with the terrible fallout, the psychological damage is palpable. You can see the exact moment his world shatters. He isn't just dealing with the trauma of what she put him through, he is dealing with the crushing realization that he meant absolutely nothing to her. It was all a calculated game. The feelings of betrayal are overwhelming, pushing him into a dark place of isolation. He is staring blankly at the walls, pushing away the friends who are trying to help, and struggling to process the shame. Will is starting to recognize that this wasn't care, it wasn't a genuine connection, it was a deeply damaging exploitation of a vulnerable mind. It is incredibly tough to watch, but it is such an important storyline, highlighting how predators warp reality to serve their own twisted needs. The road ahead for him is going to be incredibly steep, and it makes you wonder how the street will react when the full extent of Megan's calculated moves becomes public knowledge. Speaking of facing the ghosts of exploitation, Tim Metcov is delivering some of the most powerful and emotional scenes we have seen on the show in a very long time. Tim is finally standing his ground against a woman from his past who caused him immense, unseen pain. For years, he carried the heavy burden of what happened, burying the uncomfortable truth about her actions deep inside. But he has finally reached his breaking point. He looks her straight in the eye and finally labels her previous actions for exactly what they were. He strips away her pathetic excuses and completely refuses to let her gaslight him into thinking her behavior was normal or acceptable. Watching Tim navigate this deep trauma, trembling but holding his ground to confront his past so bravely, is both heartbreaking and fiercely empowering. He reclaims his power in that single conversation. It brilliantly showcases the incredible difficulty of acknowledging personal exploitation, especially for men, when society often expects them to just brush it off. This is a massive, painful step for his healing journey, and the emotional hangover from this confrontation is going to ripple out and deeply affect his family as they learn the silent pain he has been carrying all these years. While the emotional heavy lifting is happening with Tim and Will, there is a totally different kind of suspense brewing over at the builder's yard. The mysterious circumstances surrounding the tragic passing of Theo have taken a massive, dark turn. It isn't just a simple tragedy anymore. It has escalated into a full-blown forensic investigation. The authorities are literally tearing the local builder's yard apart, looking for any hidden shred of evidence tied to Theo's untimely death. The tension on the street is thick enough to cut with a knife. What exactly are they looking for in the rubble? A hidden clue? The sheer panic in the eyes of those connected to the yard tells us that someone is hiding a massive, definite secret. Every time the forensic team uncovers a new patch of dirt, you hold your breath, wondering if this is the exact moment the whole house of cards comes crashing down. The flashing blue lights casting long shadows over the cobbles create a chilling atmosphere of pure dread. Whoever is responsible for Theo's tragic fate is undoubtedly watching from behind twitching curtains, sweating bullets as the sniffer dogs and search teams inch closer to the truth. The suspense is literally off the charts, and the rumour mill at the Rovers is running entirely out of control. The writers are truly outdoing themselves this season, perfectly balancing the intense, emotionally charged drama of Will and Tim's individual journeys toward healing, with the gripping, edge-of-your-seat thriller aspect of Theo's investigation. It is an absolute masterclass in soap storytelling that forces the audience to look closely at the dark underbelly of human nature, the devastating effects of manipulation, and the relentless, often messy pursuit of justice. Every single character is being pushed to their absolute limits, and the fallout from these intertwining storylines is going to change the dynamic of the street forever. What do you guys think will happen next? Will Megan finally break down in that interrogation room and confess to her crimes, or will she try to spin yet another twisted web of lies to save her own skin? How will Tim's family react to his brave revelation? And most importantly, who do you think is actually responsible for what happened to Theo at the builder's yard? I want to hear all your craziest theories down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update from CoronationST Update. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video with even more juicy Cobbles drama.